Good morning, everyone. A few announcements this morning. Let's see. We'll begin with prayer requests. I want to add to our list for Sunday morning that Betty Thorpe's daughter, Kathy, is in Altman Hospital with COVID. So please add her to your list. Pray for her. Second, and then we'll move to announcements. Announcements are, well, this right here. This is the Sunday we celebrate this, and remember the baptism of Jesus. This is a participatory event, much like communion. So you need to have with you a dish of water. Doesn't have to be big, little cereal bowl or something like that is fine. Even a teacup or a little plate that a teacup goes on. My mind is not coming up with the word for that. But a little dessert plate, something with just a little bit of water in it. For me, more is better. But you just have some water with you when you join our worship service this morning. Okay? All right. Second announcement is something I don't do very often. I probably should do more often. My apologies to our church treasurer and our finance committee for my lack of attention to that. If we were meeting weekly, we would have we would have offering every week. And we'd pass a plate, and that plate reminds us that, it costs money to keep the lights on and the heat running. Even if we're not in the building every week, it's still a big building. So we do have obligations that we need to meet. And I do want to thank you for your incredible faithfulness throughout this pandemic. This has been really hard. A lot of churches are suffering far more to a great degree. Some of my colleagues have said that when they stopped meeting in person, the offerings just stopped. And Christ Church has not been like that. You all have been wonderful, and your offerings have largely continued the same as before, with some exceptions, okay? I was looking at the finance report this month, and one of the things that it said was that our prepaid pledges for 2021, that's those folks that pay their whole year in advance for tax reasons. I get that. But our prepaid pledges for 2021 are considerably less than they were for 2020 or for most previous years. Okay? And that has an effect on how much money we have in the bank and how we are able to pay our bills, whether we have to transfer money from savings into checking, those sorts of things. That does have an effect. I understand that people have tax reasons for doing what they do. I get that. We have other resources, but you need to be aware that this is an important change. And that change makes your regular, reliable, weekly and monthly giving even more important. Okay? So our prepaid pledges for 2021 are down, which means we don't have as much money in the checking account as we would have, say, this time last year. And that means it's even more important for all of us to remember to make regular, reliable, weekly, monthly offerings. Whatever is your pattern, please remember that it is really important that we continue to do that. Thank you. I'm not going to belabor that anymore. All right. The last thing is, and I'm probably going to make another recording about this later, but I can't let today go by without saying something about the events of this week at our nation's capital. I don't want to make this a political statement. This is not a political forum. And I know that as your pastor, I represent Republicans and Democrats and libertarians and everything in between. Okay? This isn't about that. This is about the team that we all play on, the king that we all serve. And I have to say, I'm not speaking specifically to anybody from Christ Church, because I didn't see anybody from Christ Church doing this specifically. But I saw a lot of folks who I know are church-going folks behaving in ways that frankly disappointed me. It wasn't limited to any one political party. What I saw was people doing things and saying things that didn't look very much at all like Jesus. And I was disappointed. And frankly, it made me sad. I think that when we are under pressure, those are the moments that we often are at least like Jesus. And this is a time when our nation is under great stress, and many of us are under great stress. And when we're under stress, sometimes the worst that is inside of us is squeezed out. And so it's a good time for us to take a hard look in the mirror and look at the things that we have done and look at the things that we have said and ask ourselves, was I acting like Jesus? Did the things that I say sound like something Jesus would have said? That's my challenge to myself and to all of you. Let's use this opportunity while we are under stress to have a hard look in the mirror and think about whether our words and our actions look like Jesus. Don't forget to prepare a small dish of water. I invite you to participate with Pastor Chris and I this morning as we remember Jesus' baptism.